Welcome to the Baby Playbook podcast. Thank you so much for joining us again. And today is a really exciting guest episode and something a little bit left of field. It is for the mums out there, whether you are expecting or whether you are a new mum. And I think it's applicable to all mums at the moment because one thing that tends to change with pregnancy, whether it's pre-pregnancy or while being pregnant or post-pregnancy, is your skin. I noticed a huge change in my skin when I was pregnant and then again when I gave birth and postpartum. So there was all different phases when it came to my skin, some better than others, I will say, some more favorite for me than others for favorite times. And I wanted to talk about this because I know with the mums, whether you're pregnant or whether you're expecting and you're about to be overwhelmed with a lot of baby stuff, one thing we tend to put aside is ourselves. So whether that be, not really showering regularly, not really seeing our friends, trying to put as much of our mental health forward as we can. And some things we just sacrifice a lot in the first 6 months. And one of those things is a bit of self-care when it comes to beauty. So I thought it would be really cool to talk to somebody who knows all about this, who knows all about skin and taking care of yourself. And this is Danielle from the Glow No. She's a beauty therapist and she's all about upgrading your skin routine, which I love. Thank you so much for joining me, Danielle.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, let's first I want to talk about perhaps maybe even your experience. I mentioned before I had a lot of ups and downs. Luckily, when I was pregnant, my skin was flawless. It looked really good. It was amazing. And then post-pregnancy, not so much. And I think that had to do with the fact that I don't think that I touched my moisturizer for like 6 months. It was just dry and it was just like hanging for dear life, to be honest. What was your experience like?
I do have to say that I didn't have a lot of skin dramas during pregnancy, except for the melasma. So you can get, like, they call it the mask of pregnancy, the pigmentation. And I actually still have some. Mine never completely disappeared. And if I could go back in time, one thing I would have done during pregnancy is been more concerned about sun protection and SPF, because I didn't realize those kind of changes were happening, even though I was already working within the skincare industry. I wasn't a beauty therapist per se at that time. So that's definitely a big one for me.
Yeah, wow. That's something, again, that once you get pregnant, people talk about the morning sickness. That's really common. And this and that. Heartburn, I know, is a big one, and uncomfortable sleep. But there's so many different elements to pregnancy and postpartum that nobody talks about. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this comes with the package. How fun. So you mentioned there that was during your pregnancy. So tell me, what kind of tends to happen to our skin during pregnancy? Of course, this will be different for all different people and their skin types. But what are some general things that perhaps we can maybe expect?
Well, you said it. It's different for everybody. You could have no changes to your skin, or you could experience a few, you could experience them all. Different for everybody. Obviously, as I mentioned, the melasma is one, and that's due to the increase of melanin that your skin produces. So it's like it becomes more sensitive to the sun exposure. So your chances of sun damage are increased. And what the melasma is just like a pigmentation, basically. And for me, I got it a lot around my mouth and a little bit on my forehead. It does kind of fade during winter, and then in summer I can see it again, which is quite annoying. Other people might experience more breakouts, even acne, or it could be the complete opposite. I know that itchy skin and dryness is also really common during pregnancy. Again, it depends on the individual. It's all due to the hormones. It's all a hormonal imbalance, and it shows up in your skin differently for everybody.
I guess the thing to point out there is that it's also super normal. It's super normal to have these changes to your skin, because it can be quite confronting when it's all happening at the same time. But it's, I guess, good to remind yourself that it is the hormones. There is a reason behind it, and that perhaps is even temporary, hopefully. But there are also ways in which maybe we can, step up our care. One way in which you said, which you wish you did, was to use more sunscreen. What are some other kind of easy ways in which we can take care of our skin during pregnancy? Because I know a lot of discussion is out there about, moisturizing your belly. And that's a big one. Everybody talks about the belly balms, which I had like 4 different brands at home, but I wasn't doing much to my skin, my facial skin at least.
That's a really good point. You're so right. Everyone's so concerned about the belly and the stretch marks, but like, who's looking at your belly every single day for the rest of your life? Yeah, so I would definitely, SPF is a big one. Just making sure that if you're outside, you have some protection on, whether it's winter or summer, because you are prone to getting that melasma. And you know what? Just simplicity, cleansing your skin and using a good moisturizer. The skin can also become like prone to sensitivity during pregnancy as well. So it's not a great time to introduce new skincare ingredients or actives. I would just be keeping it really basic, really simple, but consistent.
Yeah, that's a really good tip there. And the other thing I wanted to ask about is more, should we be reviewing our products when we get pregnant? Because I know, of course, a lot of people start to change up what they've been using, just making sure that the ingredients are okay for use during pregnancies is something kind of we should make sure that we're checking.
I think most products will actually have in fine writing on them, consult your GP, whether you are pregnant or breastfeeding. I would personally keep it as natural as possible, not use any actives, not necessarily because it's dangerous, but just because everything becomes more prone to sensitivity. Although, in saying that, really good ingredients in your skincare routine, especially during pregnancy, would be hyaluronic acid, which really helps to keep your skin hydrated, and vitamin C, which helps to counteract that melasma, like the sun damage. And those 2 ingredients are obviously safe. But your best bet would be to keep it nice and simple. Definitely take any actives out of your routine and stop doing any, if you're doing like salon treatments, I would probably stop that for a while as well.
I have 2 boys, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was pregnant with my first, there's an old wives' tale which I was reminded of from my whole family about girls when you're pregnant suck the beauty out of you, and you know that you're pregnant with a girl because you know your skin goes horrible and you're not glowing. I remember somebody told me that, and then they told me that they thought I was having a boy because I had really good skin and it was clear at the time. Which I don't know if they were just saying that. I mean, you're never going to tell a person who's pregnant that they're not looking great and you think they're having a girl. Have you heard of that before? What do you think about that?
I have heard of that before, and I don't know. There's so many different old wives' tales. Like when you with pregnancy, I was the chain, like the ring on the chain, to whether you like the
Yes, to
pendulum,
tell the
are you
gender.
having a boy or a girl, are you carrying high, are you carrying low? I don't know if I had 2 girls, and I don't know if I looked like I had the beauty sucked out of me, but I definitely experienced all the things like the hair thinning, and my skin was more prone to sensitivity, and like skin dehydration, redness. Um, I don't know if I'd say they suck the beauty out of me. They definitely do now. They suck the life out of me now. Skincare matters
All
now.
right. Still up for debate, that one then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about pregnancy and your skin during pregnancy, but of course then the baby pops out. And I guess something to note is, I'm sure you will agree, that those hormones are still kind of all over the place. Is it okay to expect that your skin might not go back to its usual self very quickly? What kind of happens in that postpartum period?
It can take months for your hormones to level out, for your skin to go back to normal, but also what is normal? You've had a baby, your skin and your body and everything, you're finding your new normal. And I think uh, dryness and skin dehydration is big postpartum. Like again, due to the changes in hormones. Also, if you are breastfeeding, your body is using a lot more water. So your hair, your skin, and your nails, the last to receive any of the nutrients when you're caring for a child. And also, just your body is trying to go back to normal. So like the same again, your hair, your skin, and your nails are definitely neglected in the sense of what your body is prioritizing. Again, the postpartum challenges can be different for everybody. The changes in hormones could see that even if you didn't experience a lot of breakouts and blemishes during pregnancy, you might postpartum, or it can be the complete opposite. The itchiness, dryness, dehydration is also quite common. And if you do experience the melasma during pregnancy, that can take a long time to fade. It's the same hormones that are responsible for, you get the line on your belly as well. Did you get that with your boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same, except on your face.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, that's some really good things to note as well. And I think the most important message there is, of course, that, things don't go back to normal in quotation marks, super quickly. And it is a time when, as you said, we don't have much time to think about ourselves. So even, for example, you're talking about drinking water, like you forget to do that. So sometimes you go by a day where you haven't even had one glass of water, which is why it's so important to remember to drink water, not just for, keeping up with hydration and breastfeeding and those nutrients, but also for it to kind of nourish your own body and your skin, and to be able to upkeep that. So as I said before, we really don't have any time when the baby comes, especially those first 6 months. Like there's zero time for self-care. How can we keep it really simple? What are some really simple, I think, things we could commit to during that time to help our skin heal and keep hydrated and, keep balanced, I guess?
I always like to recommend ritualizing something, and that might sound like really extreme when we've got no time with new babies, but your shower, even if you're not showering every day, ritualize that 5 or 10 minutes that you get to have to yourself. For me, it was when my husband came home and I was like, I'm having a shower. I just need that time. But make it that bit more special for you. Like you've got candles lying around the house, light a candle, stand in the shower for 10 minutes, invest in a nice cleanser or a body wash or anything that makes you feel good about yourself, because it's such a hard time postpartum, and we know in the future that there is light at the end of the tunnel, but when you're in it, it's so hard. And I'm a big believer that it's really important that you do something, you try and do something daily, as small, even if it's tiny, to make yourself feel good, because you're running on lack of sleep, you're frustrated, you're adjusting to your new life. Even if you don't have a skincare routine, maybe something nice like putting moisturizer on your feet and putting socks on, or anything that's going to make you just feel more like you, feel nice.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And I think that also adds to, I think it's great that it's a two-part project, right? You're looking after your skin, but you're also self-care and looking after your mental health, because as you said, just having something to yourself, and that could be just that 10 minutes of the day. I remember I used to put my Bluetooth speaker on and just play a couple of songs. I think I only had time for 3 songs a day. So 3 songs, and within those 3 songs, I would have been in the bathroom. I did very simple, my cleanse, a bit of exfoliator, moisturizer, if I had time, which was rare, but a mask. And, Noel was screaming in the background. I could hear him just slightly over the speaker, but my husband was with him. And I was like, no, I have committed to these 10 minutes. I'm going to do this. And you feel really fresh. You feel really good after.
Exactly. And even it can be something as simple as investing in a nice overnight, a sleeping mask, a hydrating mask, something that you don't even have to wash off. So after you've cleansed your skin in the shower, you can pop that on, and it'll be the difference between you waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror going, oh my God, I look like I haven't slept for 3 weeks, and going, oh, actually, I don't mind that mask. It was easy to use and my skin looks okay. It just makes you feel good about you. And that's honestly the most important thing postpartum.
100%. I love that efficiency. You put it on while you sleep. You're not wasting any other time.
Yeah, you just use it like a cream.
Thank you so much, Danielle. This is really helpful. I would love to get any more information like this out there from mums who, of course, it's such a crazy time and there's so many things happening and there's so many balls up in the air, that these are the little things that kind of fall to the side, like your skin. But it's really good to know pregnancy postpartum, or throughout that period, what you can expect with your skin. If people would like to follow Danielle, she has some really great tips, and she also has very funny reels on motherhood and skincare and self-care, which I am always laughing out loud on. You can check her out on Instagram, The Glow No. And I want to say today, which is really exciting, Danielle is providing a giveaway for today's episode. I love doing a giveaway, and today is a $100 Nutrimetics Pamper Pack, which you mentioned before, Danielle, it's all about getting those all natural products on you as well during this time, and this Pamper Pack will be exactly that. So thank you so much for providing that. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, you can head to my website. I'll pop it in the show notes as well, heynicolinak.co. I'll pop it down in the show notes. Make sure you put your email in so that you can win. And thank you so much for upgrading our skin routine today, Danielle.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.